Hi, Liborous. Okay, so we wanted to talk about the legal part of this, and I'm sure you've been hearing the conversation concerning justice for Uwa, the rapist issue we're going on in Nigeria right now. And we just need the legal part of this. We want to understand what the law says, because it seems the consequence for rapists in our country is quite minimal. You know, we don't have that extreme measure such that people know that when they rape, there is a huge consequence that they have to pay. Could you tell us exactly what the law states so we are clear? That's one. Number two, how do you effectively prove a case of rape in this our country? How can I prove that I was raped and I'll get justice? Those are the two questions I'd like you to address quickly.
Yeah, first and foremost, before I start, thank you for the opportunity. And then also, I would like to adopt your last statement that when people say men are moved by sight, it's an escapist approach to the issues. Even if you are moved by sight, that's why also you have self-control. So for the fact that a woman is naked, even if she's in your room and she's naked, the law says she must give consent. There's even a debate whether a man can rape his wife. In some jurisdiction, it is agreed that a man can rape his wife. That's why a wife you legally married, that she still has a consent. But while in some, they're saying that the day you say, yes, I do, you have impliedly given consent. So the idea of men are moved by sight is an escapist idea, and it should be completely jettisoned. Men are not moved by sight. So why shouldn't women be moved by sight then? And that said, rape as defined by the criminal code is the slightest penetration, the slightest, even if it's, I would go a bit descriptive, even if it's just the cap, you know, it's rape. And so, how do you now establish slightest penetration? Medically, you need medical examination to do all of that. And so that's why some people will tell you that it's difficult, because in most cases, the victim will not want to report because of stigma and the attitude of our security agencies too, you know, to begin to ask, when did it happen? You mean you went to a man's room, 11 p.m., what were you doing there? Oh, how were you dressed? We need to change all of that mentality. Prosecution starts from investigation. And so, it is the investigation that established rape. And investigation is part of criminal medical examination to check the walls of the hymen. And in most cases, when the examination is conducted, the walls of the hymen will reveal that it was forcefully entered. And since the law already section, I think section 246 of the criminal code, you know, establishes rape, and then the definition section also states that once there's a penetration, there's rape without consent. And so once that is established, it is now another hurdle that needs to be crossed. Here we say our criminal justice system grinds slowly, but we forget that justice delayed is justice denied. So the victim is stigmatized in the society, and then the windmill of justice is grinding so slow, unnecessary adjournment, and then lastly, there is sympathy on the part of, oh, leave him now. You are not the first person to be raped. Like Morayo said, you are not the first person. Please forgive him. Especially, I've seen a young custody of supposed man of God rape the young lady, and the church on the family to forgive the pastor that he said they shouldn't allow the devil use them to, you know, stop the work of God. You know, all of that. So when there's delay in the dispensation of justice, there's pressure on the concern about the
We're having these difficulties hearing you, Liborous. But while we're getting reconnected, we still have the emotions doctor, Nkosola Alabi, there. So go ahead.
Okay, actually, this was for Liborous. I was going to say, sometimes, you know, when the rape is violent, when you are tied or beaten, or everybody's on board, they get it. But when it's not violent, when you were made to fall asleep, or you were, you know, and it happens, Who are you going to, when you go to the police, who is going to listen to you? What kind of justice do you get? What kind of justice do you get for that situation?
Liborous is back.
Okay.
Did you get Mariam's question, Liborous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yes, I got the question.
How do you prove that it was a rape?
It wasn't consensual.
I said
That it wasn't consensual. If you were not, like you say, you were not beaten.
Drugged.
That it was not just...
Yeah.
You were drugged. Even the rape I described, can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. The one I described before was not a case of when you were beaten. That one, when you were beaten, is even easy. It establishes mark, but a situation where you were not beaten and you were drugged. I said that the medical examination will reveal the thing to do in investigating rape is medical examination. Is to examine the victim medically. The first point of call should be the hospital to examine medically that there was forceful entry. The walls of the hymen were bruised. All of these are elementary, and even in law school, they will tell you. So a medical doctor examine also know when you are drugged, and you know we are both adults, we are all adults. We know that the moment there's a consensual sex, lubrication takes place. And that so it will establish also when you carry out a medical examination that there was no forceful entry. But when there was first forceful entry, involuntary entry, especially when you are drugged or you are beaten or you are induced, it will establish by examination of the walls of the hymen that truly there was forceful entry. Once that is done, quickly, let me round up quickly. Once that is done, the medical examination will reveal all of this. And that is why once a rape occurs, the first point of call should be the hospital. If you fail to do that and you wait 1 week, 2 weeks later, it will be difficult to establish. That was why the case of Busola, Timmy Dakolo's wife, was a difficult one. It becomes your word against mine because examination was not conducted the moment it happened. So that's the first point of call.
Right.
And then all of those medical examinations will help the police to carry out questioning.
Okay.
What about, because some women, they will follow you to your room and then they will agree, you will start to do this. At this time, the woman will become lubricated. Then at the last minute, she says, okay, I don't want to do it again.
Consent.
How are you going to prove
all that?
Because at this point, she's lubricated.
All that the law requires is at that point it becomes your word against the house. And cross-examination usually reveals all of this because it will show clearly when under cross-examination, when you now say, like the story you have narrated, that yes, we were there, she agreed, but at a point she said no. The moment she said no, she has withdrawn consent. And rape, as defined by the law, is having carnal knowledge of a woman without her consent.
I was told, and I read in the papers, that there's forensic evidence that are gathering to track down those who killed Uwa. Could you confirm if indeed we have, they said they have fingerprints on the, it's fire extinguisher, and I'm thinking, why in the United States of Nigeria, what's going on? Do we have the capacity to get forensic evidence and actually trace the suspects?
Yeah, please quickly permit me before I answer this your question directly to talk about rape. Said some guys also have been raped by women. Yeah. That's a big problem, a legal problem. The best it can be is assault. Because as defined in our laws is penetration. The question is, can a woman penetrate a man? That had been the debate, whether a woman can rape a man, until the laws are amended to accommodate, to redefine what rape is. The best that can happen is that you say the woman assaulted the man sexually, and not that can be defined as rape. That said, but also, guys, there's need attention, especially young boys who are being assaulted and sexually molested by house helps and older lady. That's a topic for another day. Then on the issue of forensic evidence and gathering, Our policemen, if they want to work, they work. If you want to know whether our policemen can do something, just attack a policeman or let, criminals, kill a policeman. That's the day you will know that our policemen have the equipment to do something. So, if you remember, if you want to travel abroad, they tell you to go to Alagbon, to get fingerprint clearance that you have not committed an offense before. Yes, some of us just think it is, just for formality, you just take a fingerprint, then you go. Body that has gone because we do not, a system to synergize. But I also can tell you that truly, if they want to, because they have the records of the criminals. Some of them have records of criminals. So if, for a case like this, that is this, that generated this kind of popularity and sensation, what they do sometimes, they run this fingerprint through their own records, internal records. Because for people to commit this kind of heinous crime, they probably would have been to police station no more than 2, 3, 4 times. And so police would have those records. And so what they basically do, they run through their records first. Let me give you an instance. A friend of mine was kidnapped in that Benin area. When the policemen visited the scene of the crime, the moment they picked up the bullet shells, one of the police said, this is not a G hand work. So that means they know the criminals.
Thank you so much.
Don't worry, we know these people.
Thank you so much, Liborous. We have to wrap up on that, but it's always a pleasure having you to share your thoughts on the show.
You can watch Your View on TVC every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Nigerian time on DSTV channel 418, GOTV channel 27 and channel 47, StarTimes channel 121 and channel 307, Play TV channel 801 and channel 190, UHF 49, Sky channel 515 for UK viewers. Watch live on Facebook at TVC Connect and on our website tvcentertainment.tv/livestream.